Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Abigail Sadler from Mount Horeb High School. Welcome, Abby.
Thanks.
You got an interesting life. You were actually born in California.
Yeah.
And then you want to tell me a little bit how you moved around, both parents' jobs, understand?
Yeah, totally. So my mom and dad both went to Purdue, and then my mom worked in aerospace. So she moved to California, and they both went to USC over there. And then I was born in LA County, and then lived there for 9 years. My dad's job moved him to Wisconsin. So I lived there for 4 years. We lived on a farm.
And that's in Mount Horeb?
Yeah, that's in Mount Horeb. Yeah, and then my dad's job moved him up to Toronto, Canada. So we lived over there for 3 years. And then we were expats, and we moved back to Mount Horeb. So I've been back for a year. Super happy to be back.
You're an outstanding runner. You're a state champion in track.
Yeah.
Cross country, you had a good career, but you had a little injury, right?
Yeah.
Was that Achilles last year?
Yeah, I had tendonitis in my right Achilles. So I didn't figure out what it was until after Foot Locker. So that was my postseason race. And I kept on racing through it and didn't realize until then. So I spent like 2 months recovering. I did a ton of cross training, and I'm fully back from it now. So I was able to have a strong track season, and I've been able to like bring the cross training that I did over the winter for my injury into like my regular training now, which has been great.
And then your state track meet, of course. Anybody that was at state track last year knows what happened with all the weather. You want to explain how that impacted you, because you were in 3 events.
Yeah. So the weather was pretty crazy. There was storms and lightning, so it caused like many delays. So the races just kept on getting pushed back. I actually started warming up for the 1600. When I finished my warm-up jog, lightning struck again. So it was delayed again. So I went back to like the dorms with my team. We played euchre. So that was a lot of fun, but I was like, I wish I'd like been racing then. But then I raced around like 11-ish for the 1600, like when the meet went back on. And then the lights turned off. So like all the stadium lights went off. It kind of was like a concert actually, because like everyone was like waving their phones with their flashlight. But that actually helped me out because I got more time in between the 1600 and 800 race. So then I raced the 800, finished like around midnight, and raced the 4x8 the next day. And
out of all those events, your favorite was?
Oh, man, I want to say the 800 because like it's an amazing feeling being state champ. But probably the 4x8. Like that was, I actually beat my time in the 800 in the 4x8. And it was like the most amazing feeling, like being with the team on the podium. Like it was so much more fun just like being up there with the team than like by myself. So it was just great just like being like enjoying the excitement with all the girls.
Track is an individual sport, but when you get to realize that's the team aspect of it.
For sure.
Which is cool. But then you go back to cross country, that's purely guts and individual, and you were able to finish, was 6th at state?
Yeah.
Even with the Achilles problem?
Yeah, I mean, I finished 6th at state with the Achilles. Definitely a really tough race for me. But I mean, I'm glad I did what I did, and I'm excited to get first this year.
Now you ran in Canada. How was what you did there different? Because it's more of is it school and club up there? I mean, in Europe, there's a lot of clubs versus the high school. But how was it kind of the sports? And did you do anything else besides cross country and track there?
Yeah, so I played soccer ever since I was little, like literally since I could walk, up until like 3 years ago. So I played it for 1 year up in Toronto. And the club and like school running is a bit different up there. There's clubs all over the city. So I was part of the Toronto Olympic Running Club. And that was like for a year and a half, 2 years. And then this past year, or I guess 2 years ago, I was part of the Bison's Track Club. So yeah, and there's like the club season happens in like the beginning of, like for cross country, it happens at the beginning of fall. And then then the school season happens, and then that's just like a few races leading up to their big state, but that's called provincials. And then after that, you can race club, you can go to provincials for club, and then nationals for club. And then you spend the winter season doing like club indoor running, so indoor racing. And then the club season starts, or then the school season starts in the spring for track. And then the club season runs all summer. So it's like a year-round sport up there.
Wow. And one of my questions is superstitions. There's something you do. There's something that you do for every race that's important. And your goal is to go to the Olympics.
For sure.
In 28?
Yo.
28?
That's the goal.
What are you going to do ready? What is it? It's the hair, right?
Yeah, it is. I've got my crown. Like, I do it before every big race. It's like a cross braid. I'm wearing it now. But yeah, I plan to like wear it at the Olympics. I wear it for state. Yeah, I wear it for New Balance. So it just like gets me in the zone.
I feel pretty good about that.
For sure.
What was it like to grow up here for a few years, leave, and then come back to this community?
Well, I mean, the community is a super open community. Like, it's great. Everyone's super supportive. And something that I find special about like Mount Horeb is like in general, everyone's really hardworking and they really value hard work. So it's great when they like, it's really neat that they follow me and like my sport. He's like, they see the hard work that I'm putting into it. So I just like super value the community. They're amazing people. And it's been great to come back to them.
You mentioned earlier about a farm. You live on a farm. What do you do? What kind of farm is it? Is it a dairy farm or what do you produce? Yeah,
so it's an old dairy farm. It's shut down now, but we do have some sheep, a goat with 2 kids, and then a ton of chickens. And then we also have an apple orchard. So we pick apples from that. And then we like make them into like pies and stuff and cider. Brick Cider, like our local restaurant, actually came and picked from the orchard once. And then we also have a hayfield.
And I understand you like to cook and bake, and you started your own business when you were up in Canada.
Yeah, it was called Duchess Desserts. So I sold like my homemade desserts to my local neighborhood. So my specialty was apple blossoms. It's like a mini apple pie, so it's kind of like hand-sized. And then it's like, so you've got the pie crust, and it's cut in the shape of a blossom. And then you fill it with like pie filling. And then when you put it in the oven, it blooms.
Blossoms, okay.
Yeah.
Your favorite food?
Oh, it's meatloaf. So there's actually a funny story about that one. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, I was trying to write it down for like, you know, get to know you, like sort of like paper that you do for school. And it was like, what is your favorite food? And I wrote down meatloaf because I just like sounded it out. So it's kind of just like a family joke now. So whenever we have meatloaf at home, we call it meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
And is it different every time? Like the 2 meatloaf is just whatever, you know, or is there a certain particular recipe for it?
Yeah, it's my mom's recipe, and she like her secret ingredient's ketchup. So yeah, it's pretty good.
And understand cheesecake is popular.
For sure. Cheesecake's literally my favorite dessert. I make it from my grandma's recipe that she got from a friend, and it's amazing. I make it in like a springform pan so you can see the sides and stuff, and then I put on a sour cream topping. It's out of this world.
Well, we're just getting hungry just talking about it as we're getting close to lunchtime. A lot of other activities you're involved in, National Honor Society, and even Student Council. Yeah. And then there's a group called Power that you actually got involved in Canada, and you brought it here. You want to explain that?
That's right. So up in my high school in Toronto, I was part of this group called Power. It's like a women's empowerment group, and they do certain like events and bake sales to raise money for different causes. Like we raised money for the Malala Fund with the bake sale that I led up there. So I brought that back here this past year, and it's been great. We have some big goals for this year. We're bringing in some speakers. We're gonna do this drive for Felicia's Donation Closet, which is this organization that helps out women that are starting out on their own after leaving a relationship. And super excited.
And Power stands for?
People's Organization of Women's Equality and Rights.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So what kind of response have you had from the Mount Horeb community in your class?
It's been great. We have like around 20 members, and I'm excited to get more this year. And our thing is that we have homemade baked goods for every meeting. So yeah. The chocolate chip cookies are our thing.
That'll get people to meetings, just see food, right?
For sure.
You got about almost a 4.0 grade point average. Somebody give you an A- there somewhere along the way?
Yeah. I mean, somewhere around there I did, yeah.
What do you want to study in college?
I want to eventually go into law, but I'm not, I'm still undecided on what I want to do for my major. So I'm thinking maybe like political science. So I'm still thinking about it. but I'm excited.
And the recruiting process, you've got some pretty high-powered Ivy League schools after you.
Yeah, no, it's going great. I have 4 official visits this September, and I'm excited to make my decision in October.
And where are those schools you're looking at?
Princeton, Penn, Harvard, and BU.
Incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Wow. And now, do you have a favorite athlete? Now, there's somebody current, but then somebody from my past.
Yeah.
Steve Prefontaine. What does that mean to you? You have a favorite quote from him?
Yeah, I do. It's the one about him, like, saying that, like, he's going to run a gutsy race, and then by the end, like, he's the only one who can win it. So I, like, kind of take that to heart. I'm like, I love Prefontaine, and I really, like, am inspired by the way that he races. He's a front runner, which is what I aspire to be. So I guess there's a strategy in running at the front of a pack rather than waiting to the end, and I definitely try to take after him.
And then your female role model athlete?
Yeah, Georgia Ellenwood. She's a heptathon athlete, and she's amazing. She actually went to UW, and she's an NCAA champ, went to the Olympics, and yeah, no, she's really neat. She's actually training in Canada right now. She's a Canadian athlete, and my coach, when I first got injured with my Achilles injury, sent me this video of her having an Achilles rupture, and then, like, her whole, like, comeback video. So I just, like, I mean, she was super inspiring for me when I was injured. So it's been really neat following her.
Have you met her yet?
No,
That's
I wish. But she does train at the tracks that I used to train at in Toronto. So maybe sometime.
Last question on Mount Horeb. What does living in this community mean to you? What are you going to take from here when you're done?
As I mentioned before, the hardworking aspect, like, everyone here works hard. So I'm going to totally, like, take that with me and run with it, literally. So yeah, no, I mean, everyone here is just super determined, and I have them to thank for inspiring me to do that.
Awesome. Our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Abigail Sadler from Mount Horeb High School. Abby, I hope you have a great senior year. We'll see you on the podium at State Track.
Thanks, I can't wait.
Congrats.